Look around. You can find cars like these on AutoTrader, like that car riding your tail. Or if you're tailgating right now, all those cars doubling as kitchens and living rooms are on AutoTrader too. Are you working out and listening to this ad at the same time? Well, multitasking pro, cars like the ones in the gym parking lot are for sale on AutoTrader. New cars, used cars, electric cars, maybe even flying cars. Okay, no flying cars, but as soon as they get invented, they'll be on AutoTrader. Just you wait. AutoTrader.
Don't you love it when things are both easier and more affordable? Like when the rain washes your car for you. Or like when you save up to 10% by bundling your renters and auto insurance with USAA. Bundle with USAA and start saving. Get a quote today.
USAA. Now tuned into the greatest.
The Run with Manny Wilson podcast.
The Run with Manny Wilson podcast.
The best sports podcast there is.
Yes, sir. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Run with me, Manny Wilson, all the way from Detroit to Chicago to your speakers and headphones. I appreciate you tuning in to the first interactive sports podcast, a community that makes sure your voice is heard. So if you hear something you agree with, you disagree with, you like or you dislike, go ahead, shoot us a quick take on our voicemail line, 219-413-9405. And of course, we'll play your take back on our next episode. And shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring this episode. Get $20 off your first ticket purchase when you use the promo code TheRunPodcast. Now, this code can only be applied for first-time users on the mobile app or website, so I don't know about you, but you better go ahead, create that account, and shoot to one of these basketball games or concerts or something because, hey, it works for all of the above on SeatGeek, so definitely go check that out. Anyway, look, man, I'm here to talk to you about this Super Bowl here because Super Bowl 59, we got our champions. We got the Super Bowl MVP. The Philadelphia Eagles are the champions of Super Bowl 59. Congrats to them. A lot of people had similar views on it. I didn't really get to give a prediction on who I wanted to win, but I really didn't want either team to win. I wanted my Atlanta Falcons to win, but that just was not going to be the case. But yeah, shout out to the Eagles, man. They absolutely destroyed the Kansas City Chiefs to win their second Super Bowl. They won 40-22. And you know what, bro? I was content with the Eagles winning. I was content with the Chiefs winning. I had already made peace with whoever was going to be the winner of this Super Bowl. But the one thing I did not want to happen was a damn blowout. The Kansas City Chiefs allowed an Eagles team to put up 40 points. Are you kidding me? A blowout. They held you scoreless in the first half. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. And this was a terrible Super Bowl to watch, honestly. Like, I had no interest in looking at this game after halftime because it was already bad. And then as soon as halftime came, what Patrick Mahomes do? Another turnover, Eagles get it and score. Like, it was just bad. It was awful. I will say thank you to the Eagles for playing good football. At least thank you for giving us something that was entertaining because you very much could have went out there and laid an egg just like the Kansas City Chiefs, and this could have been a boring, sloppy game. But at least y'all ran with it, and y'all put up 40 points. So shout out to the Philadelphia Eagles for even bringing some sort of entertainment to this game, taking the belt off and just putting it straight across their behind because this is insane for the Kansas City Chiefs to allow a team to put up 40 in a Super Bowl, and it was not close. It's unbelievable. And for Patrick Mahomes, for the Chiefs, for Travis Kelce, should be a damn shame to themselves. The whole Chiefs organization should be ashamed. Chiefs Kingdom should be ashamed. All of y'all should be ashamed. Anybody who was talking about all the refs always cheating, man, look, and it doesn't matter, whatever, you should be ashamed. Anybody, man, yeah, Chiefs that was just awful, bro. That was awful. That was such a disappointing game. It was probably one of the worst Super Bowls I've ever witnessed. I know there's been some bad Super Bowls, some defensive Super Bowls, but this wasn't even a defensive Super Bowl. This was just straight beatdown. And the Chiefs didn't even try to fight back. Every time they tried to fight back, they gave the ball away to Philly again, whether it was a fumble, whether it was an interception, whatever the case is. Like, it was bad to watch. And, man, I was just thankful the game I'm thankful it's over. This was awful, an awful way to send off the NFL season and kick up the off season. Like, this is terrible. And some of the standout stats, too, for just, to highlight maybe how bad it was. I don't know if it'll really get my point across, but the Eagles sacked the Chiefs 6 times, but not once did the Eagles bring a blitz. Not once. That's an elite defense over there. Again, shout out to Philly. They earned it. They played good ball. They brought some entertainment on both ends of the ball. They scored. They played defense. They forced turnovers. They did their thing. 6 sacks, no blitz. Like, are you kidding me? Crazy. Forced Pat Mahomes to throw 2 interceptions. Had one of them was a pick 6. Cooper DeJean. Crazy. 3 total turnovers for the Chiefs. 2 interceptions from Pat Mahomes. 1 fumble. It was bad, bro. This was a week 4 type of performance from the Kansas City Chiefs. And I don't even know if they knew they were in the Super Bowl at this point because I couldn't believe my eyes. I could not believe my eyes. The Chiefs were held scoreless the entire first half. And then they hadn't even gotten the ball past the 50-yard line the entire first half. Now, I know a lot of people gonna hear that and think, oh man, the Eagles defense was so dominant. But also, bro, the Chiefs offense was so piss poor because that also played a big part in it, bro. Patrick Mahomes looked like Caleb Williams out there in the beginning of the season. Patrick Mahomes looked like Kirk Cousins. Patrick Mahomes looked like, give me some more people. I need some more people, just bad quarterbacks out there. Will Levi, he looked like, man, he was bad out there. Pat Mahomes was stutter stepping, happy feet in the pocket. It was bad. And I know a lot to do with it has something to do with the offensive line. The offensive line was missing blocks and they couldn't really, stop the Eagles pass rush. But damn, bro, you can't stop them even when they're not sending the blitz. Like, really, bro? That's what we doing here? So it's wild, man. I couldn't believe this performance. Really couldn't believe this performance. Shout out to the Eagles because the Eagles, they actually balled out. They did their thing. And as I mentioned, Jalen Hurts, he did win the MVP for the Super Bowl. And it was deserved. I think it was very much deserved. Anyone who's watched Jalen Hurts all playoffs and all season long, you've seen how much he evolved his game from the past few years that we've watched him. He limited his turnovers like crazy. His control on the game is tremendously improved. I mean, his throws accurate, even more accurate than what they were, but now he's just more decisive and more protective over the ball, and that's something you definitely got to respect. And I would say, man, he's becoming a great field general, and man, it's helping him. It's helping him. Obviously, the biggest part is getting wins, and that's what he's doing, just won a Super Bowl. But, all of that good stuff about Jalen Hurts becoming a great field general, understanding defenses, protecting the ball, and putting it where it needs to be when it comes to passing, that stuff is cool, but I still think that top 5 conversation is still kind of a push if you're trying to throw Jalen Hurts in that top 5 quarterback. Based on this previous season, it's still not really obvious to me that Jalen Hurts is a top 5 quarterback. And I know a lot of y'all are going to say, oh, well, you just hating on Jalen Hurts. You must not like him. No, that's not the case at all, bro. It's just if I list 5 quarterbacks, if I think of 5 quarterbacks, I can think of 5 other guys that do things better than Jalen Hurts. I say Hurts still isn't in the top 5 conversation of quarterbacks because he doesn't do things that's much better than the other 5 guys. When I'm talking about Burrow, when I'm talking about Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, even Jaden Daniels from last season and Jared Goff, like those guys still do an abundance of things much better than what Jalen Hurts does. And Jalen Hurts is great. Again, not to knock on him. I mean, I told you, he's great at passing. He shut all of those narratives down in terms of, oh, he can't pass and try and make him pass. He's shown you that, oh, that's not a problem at all. He can still throw all over any defense. But in terms of things he can do better than other quarterbacks in the NFL, he's still not top 5 just yet. He's a great guy. He's a great quarterback, all of that stuff. And I love, one thing I love about Jalen Hurts is his ability to win and ability to lead a team. And this does set him apart. But when we talk about straight skill as a quarterback and he does this, and this better than that guy, nah, it ain't gonna be too many of those highlights that you saying he does this, and this better than. Like, nah, it's not happening. But I will now say, I'll say this. I'll accept any debate about Jalen Hurts being a top 5 quarterback. Based on previous seasons, again, because he had a high turnover ratio, I was like, no, it's not even a debate, not going there at all in terms of him being a top 5 quarterback. At this point, I will accept any debate, but don't let all this Super Bowl hype fool you. He played great. I mean, he protected the ball. He commanded his team. He put the ball where it needed to be. He threw all over teams in the playoffs. Hey, he did his thing. I have nothing bad to say about him. But in terms of other 5 guys that has better skill, I will accept the debate for now on in terms of him being a top 5 quarterback. But other than that, no, I still don't think he is. Nah, not yet. Anyway, look, so halftime was also a big conversation. That was crazy. Kendrick Lamar, obviously, as you know, performed at halftime. And I mean, let's rate the halftime performance 1 through 10. So if I had to rate Kendrick Lamar's halftime performance 1 through 10, I would honestly say, man, let's give it like a 4.5, 5. And the only reason I say give it a 4.5, 5 is because personally, I thought it started off a bit slower. Obviously, it picked up and it got hype. And some people are gonna say, oh, you just didn't understand the context. You didn't understand the meaning of it. But bro, come on, man. We ain't trying to think deep at the Super Bowl. I understood a lot of the hidden messages and stuff. I've been following the rap beef. I've been following Kendrick for years and years. So I already had an idea of what he would bring to the table. But in terms of Super Bowl performance, I gotta just give it like a 4.5, 5, bro. I personally expected him to, kind of come out there with some of the old hits that he had. I expected a little more energy in terms of music and the songs that he would perform, because he has a lot of hits. But if I didn't know any better and I seen that performance and that was the only thing I knew about Kendrick Lamar, I would think he was just another rapper that got a shot because he had a big song. Like, I wouldn't think that, oh, he's been killing the game for decades and he had this hit, he had that hit, and he's one of the best rappers out here. Like, I wouldn't think that based on that Super Bowl performance. So because of that reason, I have to say it wasn't really the best performance, man. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. I'm a big Kendrick fan, so I don't want nobody to be thinking, oh, Drake fans is off the chain, Drake fans is losing their mind. No, it's evident at this point that Kendrick was clearly the winner of this battle. Like, anybody who out here saying, oh, well, Drake did. No, bro, he lost. That's the only thing he did in terms of the name Kendrick Lamar. Don't even mention it in the same sentence at this point, because no, it's evident. It's clear that Kendrick, game is over, bruh. Game is over. So yeah, I'm by no means trying to support Drake by saying, oh, Kendrick didn't have a great Super Bowl performance, but I just thought he could have did better. Like, when I think of the Grammy performances that Kendrick put on years back, I thought those were tremendous. And I guess for me personally, I expected something along the lines of the hype music and the energy from those performances. Obviously, it's a different type of music that he dropped out now, but he definitely had a lot of hits on that GNX album that he could have just started off with and get the energy rolling early. But that's really the main reason why I'm like, I can't really stand behind the performance of, it being like a classic, iconic performance at the Super Bowl. I think it was more of a statement performance, which is cool too. Like, I mean, anybody out there who's saying, oh, it was statement type of performance, yeah, I understand the messages again, but that's just not really, the vibe in the Super Bowl when, it's a Super Bowl. So I just, that part was rough. But my personal rating, I wouldn't go above 5 if I had to rate this performance with Kendrick Lamar at halftime. I mean, hey, I'm a big Kendrick fan, bro. I love so many of his different albums that he's created and different songs, bro. Especially early days Kendrick, bro. Like before the Good Kid, Mad City is what I'm saying. Like, so I was expecting something a little different than what he put on in the Super Bowl. And that's all right. And it happens. He's still a GOAT either way it go. So it still don't matter. He's still a GOAT. Other than that, look, so